I learned a joke today.
Was it about squids and cephalopods?
It was, what do you call
I
it?
learned 2 jokes.
What do you call it when a cephalopod sleeps with their boss for a raise?
What?
Squid pro quo.
Ah, come on. That's better. That's better.
That is way better, right?
That's really solid.
What is wait, what was the joke I heard yesterday? What concert cost 45 cents?
What?
50 Cent featuring Nickelback.
That's good. Did you make that up?
No, I saw it on the internet.
That's pretty good.
My coworker, we're talking about 50 Cent jokes for some reason, and my coworker just started laughing, looking at the computer for like minutes, and we're like, "What is the joke?" And that was the whole joke.
I was thinking, it's got to be a band name with money, maybe 2 pence none the richer, or
ooh, if you would have come up with it from a different angle, if you'd been like,
like if I'd come up,
yeah, I would have been super impressed.
2 pence none the richer plus 43 Broke Street. There you go.
So here we go. This is episode 2.
Episode 2.
Tech Yeah Gaming.
Tech Yeah Gaming.
We had a banner premiere episode. If I do say so myself.
I completely agree.
I thought it was great.
Yes.
It was fun.
It was fun.
The people
informative.
The people are going crazy for it.
It's honestly it's really astonishing. It's such a change in my lifestyle.
It's a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah. I don't want to toot our own horn, but we're making serious waves.
Yeah, the most serious waves.
Yeah.
I'm Tony. This is Leo.
Hey.
We're coming live from Tech Yeah Studios in beautiful Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, it is lovely. It's raining today, but that's all right. We need it.
It is. It's raining, but it's also like 60 some odd degrees.
Yeah, there was a big ass rainbow earlier. That was
beautiful
cool.
rainbow.
I think it was really for us.
Yeah, I think it was the Tech Yeah Gaming.
Yeah, the Tech Yeah Gaming. It could be our mascot.
Well, because we support all people here too.
True.
You know
Diversity.
what I mean? It's we're inclusive.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a symbol of what we are.
It's what we're all about.
Beautiful, inclusive,
yeah,
sunshiny.
Yeah,
great
rays of sunshine in every way.
Great stuff. Leo, how's your week been? What'd you play this week?
So it was a good week. I am still playing Resident Evil 2. I've gotten really, really sucked into trying to just really be the most efficient runs you can. Not speedrunning because I'm nowhere near that good, but kind of moving in that direction. I finally got my first S rank last night.
Can I tell you a story?
You please. It's what we're here for.
I installed Resident Evil 2 on PC last night.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right?
Like, I played it here on the console, on the Xbox, and it's a really great game.
With that awesome controller we have.
With that awesome that controller's so bad.
It's really not great.
But it's a great game.
It is.
Resident Evil, I liked it on the Xbox. I was like, this is a good game. This is a lot of fun. I have granted, take this with a grain of salt if you're listening. I've received the copy, so I didn't pay for it.
Yeah,
so
same here.
I feel like people should always qualify that because it really does judge your perspective on the game.
That's very true.
But I installed it on my PC. I got a 1080 at home.
Mm-hmm. Same.
That thing looks so nice, man.
That's cool.
And like the lighting, the lighting looks great in that game.
Yeah.
The lighting on that 1080 with the flashlight going down the halls. Ooh. It is great. It feels spookier.
Yeah.
With the headset and having my headphones on.
For sure.
And all the music playing. You can barely hear it when we're streaming it in here. It's just kind of running through it.
No, audio is such a critical part of that.
It was
headset's important.
Intense. I honestly was like, maybe I'm not going to wear my headset for my initial playthrough of this. Because I'm a big scaredy cat and this is a little much.
It is a scary game.
But it's great.
Are you doing with the original music?
I don't know. I'm doing it as intended.
Okay, because if I think you have the pack and all the costumes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So you can actually do it with the original soundtrack, which I wouldn't recommend on your first playthrough. But if you did play it when you were younger, which I think we talked about, you haven't as much. It's pretty neat. And
I always play games I always play Japanese games in Japanese.
Yeah,
I turn on the subtitles.
Why?
I don't know. It feels
to save frames.
No, I don't know. It feels better. I feel like the voice acting syncs better.
That's interesting.
In a way. I've always kind of done it, but I think it's just the weeb in me that's into it or something.
That's interesting. Well, but even in a game like Resident Evil that was Japanese made, but takes place in America.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting way to do it. They're
neat.
speaking Japanese because it was made in Japan, but it takes place in America.
Yeah, he's like,
and they're clearly Americans.
Claro Redfield.
Just like that.
That's how she says
I see you learned a lot of Japanese.
That's how she says it.
Can you do Japanese tracks in Resident Evil? Did you check? I wonder if you can switch. Probably not.
With what?
In Resident Evil 2. I wonder if you could switch to a Japanese voice track.
I have a Japanese voice track.
Oh, you do? You actually do? Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so Claire's like, Nani? When she sees like, the zombies comes up.
Wow.
It's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's super cool. I was streaming it last night.
Maybe next playthrough that I'm going to do tonight, maybe I'll try that.
Japanese with English subtitles. It's cool, man.
Yeah, that's like, it's almost a different version. Because I will say the voice acting, while obviously better than the original, everyone's really good except kind of Claire and Leon aren't very good.
Yeah, Leon
which is odd. And I think part of it's because they didn't go Union.
Yeah, and Leon kind of defies logic.
He does.
Like, everything about his character. You know, it's funny. I didn't even think about it as much until I watched someone playing it, and they're like, isn't it crazy what Leon says? And I'm like, what do you mean? You're like, what does he mean?
Always.
You know, and then you watch, and then, like, Claire's like, you know, like when you get to, like, the helicopter hall, and Claire comes downstairs, he's like, oh, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
You know, you're like,
what the hell's
what the
going
fuck
on,
are you
dude?
talking about, Leon?
Yeah.
Like
you should be very stressed out.
Yeah, like, this is a stressful situation. Like, this girl's been trapped alone in the zombie police station.
She's chilling too. She's like, oh, Leon, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good to see you. They're smiling. They're super stoked to see each other, which is great, but it is definitely not the way I would handle it.
Yeah, it's like, what is happening?
I think my favorite part is when you blow up the alligator.
Mm.
And he says, I don't remember exactly what he says, but he says something along the lines of, take that, you overgrown bastard. And I was like, what? That's the best you could come up with. In Japanese is probably way cooler.
Oh, I haven't heard it. I'm excited to get there now. And what else is cool is I got the deluxe edition.
Yeah.
And it has a Noir skin for Claire.
Yeah.
And when you put on the Claire Noir skin, it goes all black and white.
That is so cool. I wonder if that makes it even scarier. Or harder.
Harder and scarier.
Yeah. That's cool. It's almost like a super hard mode.
Like, there's like no lights. You know what I mean? When you're in that mode?
Yeah, it's either all light or nothing.
Yeah, it's like nothing, right? So I was in I first turned it on when I was in the dark room, you know, and you have the light switch right there to turn it on. You don't even notice. You hit the light switch. You're just like,
that's really funny.
Okay.
The reason I've been playing so much is because it's really hard, right? It's a hard game, but once you master the standard mode, it's really fun because you're just optimizing. But what's really cool is to unlock all the unlimited ammo. You have to complete it in the hardest mode in under 2.5 hours with only 3 saves.
Ooh.
You can't load
because
if you die, you die. And you can't use the unlimited weapons that you've unlocked. So that's really hard.
That's
even if you're watching a YouTube video like a speedrunner and copying, it's just the RNG in this game is really intense, which is part of why it's so fun.
Yeah.
Every run's totally different. But anyway, it's a really dense game, and there's a lot to it. I feel kind of sorry for people who just play through it once and are like, all right, that was fine, because the real density and like the puzzle of it comes with optimization, which I love.
Especially like I saw they have like achievements for like steps, like 17,000 steps, and like
there's all kinds of cool
like minimizing your path through is like cool, man.
Exactly. There was one for Ada that I got last night, her little segment, and it's basically you don't use a handgun at all. You don't attack anyone. You just get through the whole segment without getting hit or hitting anyone, I think. Or maybe it's just not using your handgun. But yeah, stuff like that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's kind of goes back like when I was talking to, I feel like Dennis wasn't very familiar with Resident Evil when we started playing this. And he's like, you know, all this all ruins the horror, right? Like, you know, all the puzzles and stuff. And I'm like, it's not a horror game.
It's not a horror
It's a
game.
puzzle game.
It's a beautiful puzzle game with jump scares.
Yeah, with some scares in it.
I will say the last boss is pretty horrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Like the real last boss is actually one of the more disturbing creature designs I've ever seen, which is cool. It's cool in that way, just because
it's a reflection of yourself, I think.
Yeah, it's just a mirror.
It's just a mirror.
Wow, that's really disturbing to think about.
Yeah,
once you see that last boss, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, what else have you played this week?
Honestly, it's mostly just been that. I've just been really enjoying that. I'm still trying to get through Dragon Age 2, but that's kind of fallen by the wayside for Resident Evil 2. I'm probably going to play another week, really, and then I might move on to something else, but I'm just enjoying it, man. I'm having so much fun just trying to optimize. Yeah,
I really thought, like, because I was streaming last night, and I was like, oh, I'd already installed it, so I was like, oh, let me give it a shot. Like, you know, like I was on stream, and it's one of those like things where you start late and you have like no viewers, so you're just like, whatever, I'll try this, you know. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I got kind of sucked in to the point where it's like, oh, it's 11:30. Like, I should really sign off and like start getting ready for bed, you know. I mean, I haven't been playing much else. I played. Rainbow Six, I always kind of play a lot of.
Yeah, I always play a lot of Overwatch. This week, not as much, but I still, managed to get some matches in.
People still play that?
Yes, quite a few. A lot more people that play Siege,
Yeah.
as much as I love them both. I think Siege is, we've talked about this, but Siege is so amazing in so many ways, but it's just so stressful to actually play. Whereas Overwatch, I get angry or upset, but it's never like the terror that you feel when you play Siege.
You know what's funny about Overwatch is the thing I get mad at other people for is exactly the stuff I do.
Yeah, of course. It's like when you drive. Same thing.
Yeah.
When someone else does it, it's the worst. It's so annoying. You pick Bastion, and then you're like losing. You're like, how I could win is by picking Bastion.
Well, it's so sad because, I was one of those people where it's like, all right, I'm just going to fill. I'm going to do what this team needs.
Yeah.
I want to rank up, and I'm going to play for the team, right?
Yeah.
And I think doing that, I was like silver or something, or like something not that great,
Yeah.
And literally, like the next season, I'm like, I'm locking DPS, McCree every round,
Interesting,
nonstop, and easily got into platinum.
That's funny,
right?
Yeah.
Like easily was just like, oh, I just realized I can. I just go get 1 or 2 picks.
If I play whoever I want,
or if I just go get 1 or 2 picks, I can just flip all these fights for the team. Like it doesn't matter who I heal. If the people aren't getting picks, we're not going to win.
Yep.
So if I just take it on myself and do that, like it doesn't matter if we have 6 DPS.
It's called not being a team player.
Yeah, it's called not being a team player, but it wins the game. You know what I mean?
Totally. At the end of the day, that's what matters.
And it's sad because I'm not that great. You know what I mean? I just think most people that play competitive games in general, at a certain tier, aren't really trying to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Their thought process is like, how do we win this game? Their thought process is like, I like Overwatch.
Yeah.
And so, like you kind of have to, if you want to be the person that wins, you kind of got to grab it by the horns and be like, I'm going to be the person that wins.
Yeah, and I'm rarely that. Like, I don't really play competitive that much. I just play, and, it's fun to win, get the skins, but it's that same thing of, man, it's stressful. I don't want to play games that get stressed out, which is funny since I'm playing Resident Evil 2, which is pretty stressful. But I'm not playing against other people who are screaming at me.
It's literally a game about stress. Like
I thought it was a puzzle game. Now you're saying it's a stress game?
It's a puzzle stress game, right? Like
that's
really what it's funny. That's what I was talking to Mike about last night. It's that the thing about Resident Evil is that the horror is the stress.
Yes.
Like people are like, Mike, he's like, I don't normally get scared by games, or games don't usually get to me. He's like, well, this game really stressed me out.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's because the zombies aren't the scary thing in this game. It's the fact that you always feel like I don't got the ammo to get through this. I don't know how I'm going to kill this liquor. Like I don't know how I'm going to get through this path.
Totally. And that's why I think it's so brilliantly designed, because there's almost, not always, but there's almost always a way to make it through.
Yeah, and eventually,
unless you really catastrophically mess up.
And eventually it kind of turns into like, I just got to go for it.
Yeah.
I just got to take the things I have
and just make it work.
And
just make it work.
Either just shoot all my pistol shots, or just
I'll find something
try
and
run,
hopefully.
or just spam. I got a lot of heals. I guess I could just
take
some shots,
the bites,
and heal and run and heal. Like there's always a way. It just never feels good, right? Like
you never feel like you're really truly safe. Even when you're in your room, you're like, cool, I have to go back out there and get chewed on by goddamn horrible monsters. And I agree, zombies are kind of zombies, but these are by far the best zombies in any game. Like the animation's really extraordinary. They're super destructible. They're scary. Like they scream and they look gross. They're definitely the best zombies by far of any game.
And I know people get. I mean, we should probably move on soon, but I know people get frustrated by the fact that they're like hard to. Like, you're not one shot headshot kills, but it's like, I don't know. I don't think a zombie would be. Right?
Yeah, probably not, because it's not like their brains are...
Yeah, like they're not just going to explode. You're not turning their brain off, right? Yeah. So it's like, I think if you shot a zombie in the head, a lot of those shots would just go clean through.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean?
I mean, even people that are alive survive it sometimes.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're animated by some crazy virus. You're playing on PC, right? So you're using keyboard and mouse. That's cool.
It's too easy.
I'm playing on PlayStation, and I'm used to PC and mouse, so it's fine. Like, the controls are fine, but I am curious to try with a mouse.
I feel like it's kind of broken.
It's kind of cheating.
It's kind of cheating.
Like, I can see that.
Like, I don't... It definitely takes some of that...
Like you have an aimbot.
It takes some of that edge off.
And the aimbot is your hand.
Because you're just like, pop, 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 pop. Like, you're like literally just dumping a clip into something's head if it gets close.
Yeah. The controls definitely are a challenge for... Not because they're bad, but just because it's, it's always hard.
Yeah, I think I've been hit once so far in the first hour.
Are you playing on standard?
Standard, yeah.
Yeah. No,
and that's literally because, like, I let something get close to me because I was just like...
Because you want to see the animation?
No, I was just... I'm so brazen in that with that control scheme that I'm just standing there, just like, come on, just come at me. What I mean? Like, I don't care if you move, I'll still get you in the face.
I think once the lickers start coming up and the bosses, although even the bosses I think would be so much easier with a mouse.
Yeah, trying to hit that guy's arm eye.
Yeah.
It's impossible with a controller.
It's not impossible. I've done it.
It's so hard.
But it is definitely harder.
It's difficult, and you got to get those like staggers to like really get them.
The new strat, we probably should move on, but the one strat I have been seeing is people just knifing. They literally just knife the first William Burkett. They kill him with a knife. They just stab him over and over and keep staggering him. And occasionally I'll throw a flash grenade. I was like, I can't wait to go home and try that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, no more Resident Evil talk, right?
It'll probably come up, but yeah. Anyway, it's a great game. That's what I've been playing.
Okay, so I want to talk about. You played something else. We'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah. We definitely have to go over that.
A secret there. So if you're wondering, you're going to hear about Anthem later. Yeah. All right, it's coming. We do actually play video games.
Unique experience.
We do actually play video games. Actually, I didn't get to try it, but
oh really? Oh,
because we were in here on Friday and it.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll get to all that. So now I want to talk about what's coming out.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
This week and in the coming weeks, because this week's been kind of a.
Well, there was Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts came out.
Which is not really our.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, me neither.
If you guys,
a big game, important game, but that is not something we're knowledgeable enough to discuss. Or
if you guys are Kingdom Hearts fans, like go on your anime forums and talk about it because I don't care. Like,
I love that you say that as the person who plays every single game with a Japanese audio track.
Yeah,
I'm not sure you're in a position to be casting weeb aspersions.
All right, if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, go on your Disney forums.
There you go. That's mean. Good.
Ride your teacups and talk about it. All right.
What else?
I don't know. I want to go ride teacups.
I know that does sound nice.
Wargroove's actually coming out on
I've heard a lot about
PC and Switch, and that's a cool game. I mean, I think it's one of those action grid-based like XCOM style.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool. I have not played it yet. I will actually probably try and get a copy for Switch here. It comes out tomorrow. What else are we looking at? That's kind of all that's mentionable for the week. But coming up, next week sucks too. God Eater 3 actually is something I will probably play because it's a Monster Hunter style, very anime game.
Very anime. Extremely anime.
And then the next week we have the most anime. Jump Force is coming out.
That is actually probably the most anime. Well, maybe like... No, yeah, it is.
It's the most anime.
Couldn't be more anime.
Civ 6 expansion.
Yeah.
Metro, Far Cry New Dawn.
Well, we could talk about Metro going to the Epic Store.
And Crackdown 3.
What?
It's supposed to come out on February 15th.
Wow, that's really kind of sad that I had no idea.
Yeah, that game's not going to be good.
The first one was so cool.
Yeah,
the second one was so bad, and I'm sure this one will be terrible.
Really?
Not to be negative, but...
Microsoft sucks.
Well, yeah.
Like, plain and simple.
Yeah. This generation has been not weighted in Microsoft's favor. It's entirely because of the choices they made.
Yeah, it's weird that they cannot make a good game.
Wouldn't think it'd be that hard. It's not. Well, Microsoft is a very small company. They don't have a lot of money in their defense.
I mean, I just don't. Did Sony get all the good games? Did they buy them all? Because I mean, like,
yes,
there's games that aren't bad. Like, I like Forza and stuff. You know what I mean?
It's not.
It's fine, but what the fuck, Microsoft?
Like, I don't know, we should get Bill Gates or Phil Spencer or whoever in here and ask them.
Someone last night on Discord was like, "Hey, Game Pass is only $1 if you're inactive," and I'm like, "The price isn't the problem."
Yeah,
right? Like,
and also, what does that even say?
Yeah, it's not like I'm just.
There's not a game.
If I wanted to be playing Sea of Thieves, I would be playing Sea of Thieves
on your computer.
Yeah, like, but you can see it still get through Game Pass, or whatever. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I still consider that Microsoft, but it's like I don't want to play it.
Yeah,
I don't want to play. What's the zombie game? Like what are you paying? Like, what do you get?
I don't know.
I think Game Pass is a great idea. I think it's a very gamer first service, and I think the idea of it is great.
There's just no good games.
But they're
missing one critical feature, which is having something people want to play.
It's so easy to be like, oh, we're like the Netflix of games when you have no content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So what? It's like, so what? All right, but so Crackdown 3.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see that it's finally out, at least that like Band-Aid's been pulled off. I'm surprised they haven't canceled it.
I'm surprised they haven't canceled it too.
Well, it's not too late.
I guess.
So what about Metro and Epic? That's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
I was talking about it earlier, and the price must have been so high because there's a lot of people who want to play that game, and to not put it on Steam, like Epic must have given them a fortune because I think it's like a half a year exclusive. I don't remember the number.
I think it's a year.
Dude, they're basically paying
for the whole. That's like the whole life of the game.
Yeah, especially something like this. It's like,
Yeah.
well, this might be a little longer because
people will buy it late, but it'll
all be on sale by then.
Yeah, and that's not like the people. That's not the sales you need.
We can only like conjecture, but that must have been a high number.
Yeah, they definitely. I mean, I think the way it happened is so fucking crummy.
Really? Why so?
Because they just they took pre-orders on Steam. Like they were selling, they were selling the game on Steam for a while.
So what happened? Did they get a refund and that's it? You're just
no.
Sorry.
They're saying those will still be honored through Steam. They're like we're still gonna.
What?
So this is crazy shit. All right, and if you're listening and you want to reach out to us, techyeahpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these topics.
Mm-hmm.
But
except Kingdom Hearts.
Except you can send your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts. I'll read them. You know, if you think Goofy's the fucking dopest tank and fucking full
Donald Duck is sweet glass cannon.
Arcana glass cannon Donald Duck build is the strongest it gets.
Demon Hunter Sora.
Yeah, do what you got to do. Like I'm not going to stop you, but you suck.
Yeah, there's real games out there, guys.
Yeah, like you suck if you're going to send that email.
Anyway.
I'd love to read it though. I'd love to read it.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to have it. So they were selling pre-orders on Steam for a long time.
Yeah,
since
I was
pre-orders
not aware
opened.
of that. That's weak.
Right? All of a sudden, Steam puts this message up on the page for the game that basically says, we're sorry, we're no longer going to be able to carry this game. And they put a note in that said, like, we're very disappointed in, I should look up the actual note, but basically, we think this sucks.
Yeah.
That they allowed us to take these pre-orders and basically very quickly told us that they were going to another store.
Yeah. Right.
Which I do think sucks.
No, for sure. I agree.
And I think that this whole situation, I think sucks. Right. Like competition is great, but the last thing we need is more platforms of these stores. And I maybe I'd feel different if it wasn't like Epic Store, right? Because it's kind of a kid-centric kind of, you know what I mean? Like I saw something, they're talking about how Fortnite players aren't necessarily people, like a lot of Fortnite players aren't people that play other games.
Yeah.
Right? Like they don't have Steam installed.
Yeah,
they don't have.
why would they?
They only have ever played Fortnite. They built a computer for Fortnite because they played it on PS4 and now they're Fortnite people. So, I would imagine that those are kids.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure that demographic is a bit younger.
I would say that Venn diagram, right?
Yeah.
People that don't have Steam but play Fortnite, it's probably much younger. So I see what they're trying to do is have this kind of next generation that doesn't know Steam, kind of see Epic as where you buy games, right? But I'm just tired of having more launchers.
Yes,
I have Epic installed.
So do I.
I've played some Fortnite in my day.
And I wanted Subnautica.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I get party invites and they alt tab me out of the game I'm playing, and it's infuriating.
That's a good sign. That's good.
I hate it. Makes me so mad. Like,
what are you trying to? Who's sending you invites for Fortnite?
Fortnite.
Okay.
Right. Like, because I've played some Fortnite, so there's groups that send me invites, and it's just having all these launchers running and all these notifications popping up.
It's a ram hog too, man.
It makes me mad that like if I'm playing a different game, like Ubisoft's friend notifications pop up and overlay over those, and like if I'm playing League of Legends, the Ubisoft giant friend online notification blocks my minimap for like 30 seconds at a time. Like all these overlapping launchers and friends lists and invites, it is a maddening.
I completely
maddening place.
And it's not sustainable. Like they can't keep doing this. I at first I was into it because competition's good. Also they keep they bribe you with free games, which I'm all for.
Which is nice.
But even now I've lost track. I'm like, do I have this game? I have to check like 5 stores because I don't know. Like Good Old Games gives away a lot of games. I got like Tyranny and some dope games from there, and then of course EA. And then Uplay gave away a bunch of games. I don't know. It's confusing for sure.
And I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Right.
You are.
So I've bought a lot of games from like pre-Steam days, right? Like last night I was on my stream and someone's like, "Do you ever play Elite Dangerous?" And I was like, "I used to play a lot of Elite Dangerous." I know all about Elite Dangerous.
Let's talk about Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, and he's like, we should play Elite Dangerous. I'm like, I'm down to play Elite Dangerous, bro. Like, don't
Windows 10 even.
You don't kid me with a good time, okay?
Don't tease me.
Don't tease me. I'm like, I got my HOTAS in the closet. I'll bust that thing out. I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. And so I look and I'm like, wait, I don't have it on Steam.
But I guess you can't play it then.
So I went and I opened my Gmail and I searched Elite Dangerous and it's like, oh, I own this on the Frontier store.
Whoa.
From like 5 years ago.
So
or
what is that? Is there
out.
even like an installer?
Well, I logged into the Frontier store and it still had my account and purchase history and I downloaded it. And it's a standalone launcher installer.
See, that's the part that freaks me out about all this. Like, I have a lot of Steam games.
Yeah, so do I.
And I love the idea in theory, but someday I've always been paranoid about, Steam sells to someone 10 years online or whatever. Like, something about not having the physical copy makes me feel like in 20 years, as silly as it sounds, like, what if I do want to play some random Steam game? Is it still going to be there?
Truth be told, this day and age, even if you had a disc, you still wouldn't be able to play those games.
That's true. But at least then you have, like, you'd have to use, like, emulators. That's true.
I mean, nowadays, half the stuff's not on the disc. Kingdom Hearts doesn't have an ending on the disc.
Well, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, you're absolutely right. No, you're right. That is kind of a product of a bygone era. I still like buying discs just because I like the decoration and physically taking space. But you're totally right. I mean, like, those Fortnite cartridges they sell where there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
That's the future, and it's, I haven't gone that far, but it's kind of like, you're
I'm with you. I like the idea of a life where we can just have discs and use them offline.
Look, I want to play 5SC8. I just have 4 PS1 discs. They'll run on anything, any TV. Doesn't matter as long as your hardware works. There's something very charming about that.
Yeah, I like it.
I will miss.
I like the whole thought of it. It's just I don't think it's even possible anymore.
No, I think you're right.
We don't live in that world.
You're totally right.
And that's sad.
It's sad, but it's also let me be clear. There are numerous advantages. Like, I'm not saying it's superior, but
and you think Nintendo would be the one that lets you? They don't either.
Well, I don't know. You could play Mario Odyssey without connecting to the internet.
Some games, first party Nintendo games.
Yeah, which are the only ones that matter.
I guess so. But I'm saying a lot of
Breath
those.
Of the Wild, I bet you could play without updates.
A lot of those SD cards don't have the full games on them.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I'm like, these are tiny.
Yeah,
but I know micro SD cards. You can get up to 500 gigs on those, but I'm still like, shut up. There's no way. There's no way all of Wolfenstein 2 is on this little SD
they're just
card.
Expensive. I mean, they can fit them on there. It's just those cards are expensive, and they're not going to pay for those cards.
Yeah.
Also, do you ever heard of Dauntless?
Yeah, dude. So that's the Monster Hunter, like,
the Monster Hunter
cartoon.
clone,
real quick, not this last E3, but the one before, when they were about to release it, actually got to hang out in their hotel room and play a very, very early build of the game with them. It was just 4 guys. It was like the director, 2 other developers. And it was cool. We were just in this little hotel room. Their English was, solid, but they had these accents, and he was just walking me through the game. We killed like 2 bosses together. And I really loved it. I thought it was cool. I've never been into Monster Hunter, so I was kind of coming at it from a perspective of someone who's not familiar with that gameplay mechanic, really. But it was a lot of fun. I'm happy to hear how successful they've been.
So I jumped into Dauntless for a while, and I enjoyed it. There's one thing that just drove me crazy that made me really stop playing the game. It's that you can't bind, like, on the PS4 controller X to dodge, because that's what's dodge on Monster Hunter.
Oh.
And
they're trying to be like, we're not Monster Hunter.
It was fine until I played both.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then I was just like, I want to play Monster Hunter. I'm not playing Dauntless anymore. I can't have X and O be reversed on these.
That's unsustainable.
It's unsustainable, right? Like, I guess if you're not going to have Monster Hunter, you can play Dauntless. But Dauntless just went to the Epic Store as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
They just signed out with the Epic Store. I just saw a tweet about it yesterday.
Wow.
People are not happy. People are not stoked on this migration to the Epic Store. I can't say I blame them. I mean, I think people are concerned about Tencent. People are concerned about a lot of things. They don't want more launchers.
Yeah, that's fair. The launcher thing, that's really the argument that makes the most sense to me. It's like, man,
I think so too.
It's like eating a lot of RAM. I can't have all these running at once to lose track of what's where.
Yeah, well, and I think the worst part about the Epic Store is Fortnite is going to force itself to download like 7 gigs a week, right? Like, it is always.
Yeah, even BattleNet have that problem sometimes. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I haven't played Diablo 3 in a year. Like, do I really have to uninstall it? Just stop.
Yeah, I mean, at least Steam, like, you can like don't do that. Just
Just
let them sit. I have games sitting in that update queue.
Oh, for sure.
That have been sitting there for like since I installed them.
Yeah,
right.
No, for sure. You'll get your day someday.
Yeah, someday I'll decide. Like, I got that initial download. Updating. Someday I'll turn off this pause and see what the rest of this file's got to offer. Right. But I Fortnite just always is just like, oh, give me 7 gigs, give me 7. It's like, I'm doing something. Okay,
Yeah, I'm busy. Well, also even just the visually, like it's constantly telling you to download Fortnite. I'm like, I promise you, if I wanted to download Fortnite, I would have already.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, I don't think you need marketing
Yeah,
anymore. Like that ship has sailed. Everyone knows your game.
Yeah, I'm super familiar.
I'm sure even my mom has heard of Fortnite at this point.
Yeah, so I was surprised to see it switch over.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it just shows that Epic is probably willing to spend a huge amount of money,
and I think that,
makes sense.
Yeah, and I think especially companies that are looking for an audience.
Yeah,
it's
and Dauntless is free to play, right?
Free to play,
so that might be a perfect match. Like, oh, you like Fortnite? Check this out.
And it
even vibe wise,
like
yeah, it's definitely a very different game. I like it a lot more, but I could see someone being like, "Ooh, this is a totally different game," but it still has a similar aesthetic.
I mean, I will say, as someone that played Monster Hunter, the arcadey nature of Dauntless was something I liked. Like, I felt like it was much easier to do the kind of things in that game that felt very empowering. Monster Hunter is very punishing.
Yeah.
Where I feel like Dauntless felt very empowering in the fact that, like, like if a monster was kind of coming in at you fast, timing those, like, I'm going to smash him in the face as he runs into me and knock him over.
Yeah.
Those things seem to come much more naturally than in Monster Hunter. They're very rare and difficult to pull off.
Right.
Where in this, it's like I felt like I was just a god at doing those things.
Yeah.
And which is cool.
That is cool. I like games where you feel very powerful.
Yeah, I like the power fantasy too. I think that's kind of what made things like Destiny so fun to play, even if they aren't
absolutely
the greatest games. Is that you always felt like, oh, like I'm still the dopest,
Yeah,
I'm still the coolest.
I'm probably the coolest creature in space.
Yeah, I'm probably like the coolest thing in space. So
you can
I like
tell by my headgear.
Yeah, you can tell by all this gear. That I got it going on. But yeah, that's it for releases. It's a
dry couple months. I guess it makes sense. January, February, people are like, everyone's still buying Red Dead Redemption.
I can't wait till we're doing this when it's prime
it's gonna be
time.
hard to keep it to an hour.
Well, did you see all the Smash, like how big Smash was? The news NPDs came out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's the largest console exclusive ever, best-selling month.
That's crazy.
First month console exclusive. Yeah. It passed I think it was Halo.
Whatever.
Not Reach, the
ODST. Yeah. No, it was crazy. And it was like, I wish I had the numbers pulled up, but it was something like, this is like already one of the best-selling games of the year. It's way up there, and it had only been out for like 4 weeks or something.
And they didn't include any digital sales.
Yeah, which is insane. So imagine, you can assume it's at least a third more.
Yeah, I can imagine they're going to say like the attach rate of this game is like 70% or something nuts. Like, it just seems like everyone
Did you get it?
Yeah, I have it.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. It's Smash.
Yeah, it's Smash.
I mean, it's the same thing with a lot of Nintendo games. Like, you like to play them, you get them, you jump in, you put 30 hours into it, 50 hours into it. And from that point forth, it's like, oh, well, now I'll play it when people want to play it with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I thought when I got it, like, because I was a kid, I was just always grinding on Smash. I thought, like, oh, I'm going to really get into this. But, it's a Nintendo game. Like, it's fun when people want to do it with you. It's not that great to, like...
I've always felt like with Smash, I had all of them up until this one because I would buy it. And I'd enjoy it. It's cool. I had the Wii U one. I had the 3DS one. But I'd play them for like a week. And then I'd be like, cool. And just never pick it up again. I'm not sure. Not because they're bad games. I think I just learned my lesson. I'm like, I really want to get it purely from like the museum aesthetic and the cool collection. But honestly, I know I wouldn't play it. I'm definitely not going to play it online. I was never that good at it. So I feel
it's a game for roommates.
It is, yeah. It's a game for people in college.
Yeah, like when you're living in a dorm.
Hell yeah.
It's like the best thing ever. When I was in high school, it's like my friends would just come to my house after school every day.
Play like Melee.
Yeah, and we played 64.
Oh, nice.
Like that was the way to Smash.
That was the move.
Yeah, like
that was the way to Smash.
Yeah. I mean all through, high school, college.
Yeah.
When I dropped out of college and my other friends were still in college.
Yeah.
Like and on. Like we just played so much Smash. But something else I just saw on the wire. The Dream
on our live feed.
The Dreams beta. What are they? The NDA lifted.
Finally. Not that anyone was paying attention to it. Apparently.
Not that anyone was paying attention to it. But have you seen any of this stuff?
Yeah, man. The PT thing was crazy.
Nuts.
And then what was the other one where they?
The Dead Space one. Did you see
Dead Space. That was crazy. I do wonder once this is lifted, like, how are they going to control people? Just like. I don't know how that works.
I don't know how any of it's going to work, but it looks cool, man.
No, it's amazing. I have no sense of how that's even possible, but I'm really looking forward to seeing.
I want to make a Dreams podcast.
Where we just talk about the game? Or you create stuff?
It's in-game.
We could, like, model us
That's talking. What I mean. We make, like... I would say we should be us, but animals.
They're gonna say anime. I was like, damn it, Tony.
No, animals.
Yeah, what animal would you be?
I think I'd be like a rhinoceros.
Oh, I can see that.
Right? Like kind of a middle-aged rhinoceros.
Middle-aged?
Yeah.
Sort of like, has a nice job, stable job.
A job, it's decent. He pays the bills. He's not too fancy.
Yeah. I think it would be cool to be like a capybara.
You could be a capybara.
All right.
I can see that. They're kind of reddish, too.
Yeah. I'm not red, for the record.
I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about.
You know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying.
All right, so we'll figure this out. You'll be a rhinoceros. I'll be a small capybara.
Yeah.
And we'll have a podcast where
Bill
we talk
could be
about
a
games
giraffe.
and dreams. No brainer.
No brainer.
Mike could be like a squirrel? Maybe a gerbil?
Maybe, or like a
prairie dog?
What about a meerkat?
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah, that tracks. But yeah, I was like, this is just like me like watching this video, but I'm like, I could totally make something where you just feed in the audio and it just starts.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, but I was incredibly impressed. That was well beyond what I was expecting.
Yeah, it looks like I could program something to flap its mouth when audio comes in.
Yeah, well, let's see if we can do that. That would actually be really cool.
Put one voice in, put one voice in.
Done.
Rip it, put it on YouTube. Simple
tricks.
We're sweeping the nation, people. Tech Yeah Gaming Podcast.
It's really getting big.
We're about to go digital.
We're about to go into your dreams.
Into the third dimension.
So I was pretty amazed that all these people just did not respect the embargo. Like, what the hell was that? That's pretty rare.
That is super rare.
I wonder, they were just like, this is so good that I'm going to put my career at risk.
I think Media Molecule just kind of put it out weird.
Yeah.
I've played in a lot of betas.
Yeah.
Some of those NDA'd. And it just seems like ones where there were NDAs, it was, I don't want to say difficult to get in, but it was very restricted.
Yeah.
They were very strict about making sure that you understood what you were signing and that you signed the NDA.
Right.
And it never seemed like a kind of whatever sort of thing, right? And these Dreams betas seem to be pretty prolific.
Yeah,
right?
No, for sure.
They seem to be out there.
Yeah.
And it just is like, well, if you're just going to kind of ship them out like that, like people aren't going to respect that NDA, right? Like you're not treating it like a private thing. So no one's going to respect that.
Well, I also wonder too, I mean, this is just sort of the cynic in me or maybe the optimist, but like I can't imagine how they could have better marketing.
Yeah, I mean,
then I wonder if they're like, don't release this, but if it's really good, then go ahead.
Yeah, it's like that Sea of Thieves thing.
Yeah.
Where Summit's like, oh, you're a bad pirate, Summit, right? And then then that game gets a resurgence, and he's the biggest streamer ever.
Yeah.
And, Rare's over there like, you're the worst. We don't like pirates like you out on the 7 seas, matey. And it's like...
While they're sliding him a check.
While they're sliding him a check and being like,
check your Bitcoin.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Never stop. They're like,
but then he did.
You broke the pirate code.
Arr.
Arr. Yeah. That so much of this like tongue-in-cheek marketing.
Yeah.
That seems so obvious that because it works so well.
Yeah. Maybe, but then again, who knows? Like it's possible. If it was intentional, it was very, very good.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, it's still very good. So it hardly matters.
It does hardly matter. It's a good game.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, it looks amazing.
That's the thing. If you're putting out something cool,
yeah,
people are going to want to see it no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
They definitely, if that would have been open, if they would have been like, make stuff and share it.
Yeah.
Like, people still would have been excited. People still would have seen that PT walkthrough and be like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
That Dead Space thing with the banana at the end.
That was awesome.
People would be like, this is nuts. And like, just some of I watched like a 2-hour stream last night of people like Giant Bomb streaming it. And just some of those creations, like just random stuff they were stumbling into, not curated, not anything. It was just like, this is cool, man. Like,
I'm really excited.
Yeah, like just little like one was a kid. So this guy was like, I asked my daughter to tell me a story, and then I just modeled it in dreams, right? And it's this kid being like,
so cool,
talking about a pea trying to go into a pot, but the pot was like no, right? And so the pea's looking for a different pot. Then that pot was full of peas.
I've definitely had that dream.
And and that pot was full of peas. And then the pea finally makes it in the pot. And the dad's like, well, did they eat the peas? And she's like, no, they threw them away. And then they just throws them all away. And it's like, there's this dumb 3-minute story, but it's like it's beautifully modeled. The kid's voice sounds great, and it's like so fun and exciting.
That's really
and
cool.
It's so exciting to think like what people could do with those kinds of tools and that kind of access. And it scares me that it's all going to get shut down for copyright violation.
Well, that's what I'm wondering about. Like, how is that going to work? Who's going to front the bill? Because like Unity, for example, if I were to make a copy of Dead Space in Unity, which I couldn't do, but if I did, it's not like EA could sue Unity. They couldn't sue the provider of the tools.
Yeah.
But then again, would they be able to target the individual? And what if it's been disseminated already? Like, I'm not a lawyer by any means, but I am curious about the implications of that.
I mean, I feel like I think that the monetization is where you start to see
that's true.
issues. But what's weird is, right, like I would say that because, Sony's the storefront for this. Like it would kind of fall to them, which is what I think makes it the scariest, right? Because Sony's not the type of company to
take
loosely,
any risks.
be open to risks with it, right?
Yeah.
But then you look at like Gary's mod, and Valve sells that. That's not like free to play or anything.
Yeah.
And that's full of, you can get any 3D model in the world, you can download off the workshop. But then again, Valve isn't really that concerned with that type of litigation. You know, like they just historically they've never seemed to really be like, they're just kind of whatever. Like, hey, we make the tools, whatever. Like it seems to work for them. I don't know how.
No, that's true. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think a product like with this level of sort of simplicity has existed yet. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. When does it actually come out?
Nobody knows.
But it must be getting close if they're...
It has to be. The tool set looks... I mean, it looks very usable, right?
Yeah.
It seems fully formed. It seems like they have these sharing functions in place. Like having all these network functions in place. Like maintaining that for betas seems
for sure.
prohibitively expensive if it's not going to be a sold product anytime soon, right?
No, you're right. That sort of logistical interface must already be in place.
It'd be one thing if you were serving a single player game in a beta and it's like, well, here's the EXE, but it's like, no, you're like telling people they have audio resources streaming on demand and video resources.
No, you're absolutely right.
Like that seems too cost prohibitive to just put up so some people can try it.
So you're telling me that a big company would never put up something that was very expensive and then have it not work? Because I can think of one example.
No, that's not. I'm saying if it works.
No, I hear you. I'm just kidding.
I know. I think that what you're trying to say is...
It was a very not so smooth segue, but I like it. I'm sticking with it.
Let me tell you my experience with Anthem.
Sounds good. I'll tell you mine after.
We were supposed to stream it in here on Friday.
Yep.
Friday morning comes around, and I start, I'm at work doing some worky stuff, and we're talking about if we're going to play Anthem today. And I start looking at Twitch. I start hearing some bad news.
Yeah.
No one, people can't, yeah, 9 o'clock. People,
it's like 9:10, 9:15. People are starting to get a little
people aren't
restless.
Getting in. People are getting restless. It's not this first, hour jitters. It's like we're well into the day, and this ain't working.
Yep.
All the way until we start launching in here, and like the grouping keeps crashing us out or kicking us out of the game. Like we could get single systems in for a while. Yeah. Then I start looking online, and people are like locking at the loading screen, trying to get in. I'm starting seeing some weird things in these cutscenes. I start watching some playthroughs of people that did get in, and it looks dull as fuck. The one thing I saw a lot of complaints about was like the speed walking through the city.
Yeah,
was like terrible.
There was definitely something wrong with it.
And so by the time it kind of came around that I had an opportunity to play it, I just played in Rainbow Six.
Yeah,
it seemed like a better idea.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty like...
That's pretty much my experience with Anthem.
And all games.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my experience real quick. I was... one of our coworkers had the demo and brought us in, and we installed it. We preloaded it on the computer in the office, and at 9 o'clock, 9:02, we'd roll out. And beforehand, I made a joke like, wonder if their servers will hold up. Like, totally joking. It's EA. Of course they will. It's a huge release.
It's not their first game.
What's that?
It's not their first game.
Yeah, exactly. And there's clearly a very high priority. Mm-hmm. So I was joking, and then sure enough, I log in and it says, sorry, servers are at capacity. I was like, oh, that's really bad.
Especially like you charge people money for this.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't pay, but
I'm
you're
just
right.
saying,
No, you're totally right. I would be
people
very
did pay
upset.
money.
And again, it is important to remember that like we don't pay for a lot of games, so our opinions are maybe a little more optimistic.
I pay for a lot of games. There's a few
I
don't.
So do I, for sure.
Yeah,
but we should always try and make that clear.
I feel like you pay for a few less because you get to do reviews.
I do pay for very few games these
It's
days.
very rare I get games. The only reason I get games is because I have a very sweet, like, one of my best friends is pretty high up at Capcom.
Oh, cool.
So Capcom games I tend to get hooked up on.
Nice.
But even then, like Monster Hunter.
Well, they've had a good year, so that's good.
Monster Hunter, I bought 2 copies of it before I got a free copy of it.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was able to give that away. But
So it didn't work. And then finally in here, when Mike was here before you came down, we were testing it to see if we could stream it. And it did work right on this computer right here that we're sitting next to. And I did get to play it for about an hour.
this one?
Yeah.
This one?
The very same.
This little guy?
This little guy. But even so, we had a hell of a time trying to get in. And then some people, like you said, would drop in and out. We played for a while, but we decided it was totally unstable. It was not playable. The frame rate was low. This is a 1060, I think. But even so, like the frame rate was low. The interface, just the menu system, was so clearly designed for a console that it was driving me insane. Like, if you have to hold down a button on PC, you did something wrong.
Yeah.
That's for consoles.
That's for
like,
consoles.
I have a mouse to force me to hold it. Like, the whole point of a mouse is efficiency. So that pissed me off. It was fun to play, and that, like, you know, the locomotion was fun. It was super jittery, but I assume all that will be fixed. So then I went home and I was like, you know what? I'm going to really play this tonight. And really, I installed it.
Really take a nice bite out of this.
Yeah, and really
Anthem
spend
thing.
a couple hours and have a real
See what
like,
this apple's
solid
made of.
See what it tastes like. See what this Anthem apple tastes like. And I spent 20 minutes trying to get it to load on the proper monitor because it kept defaulting to my TV no matter what I would do.
I hate that.
So I spent a good, seriously, 20 minutes restarting, resizing the window, changing the, default to weird resolutions, blah, blah, blah. Finally got it to work. Super excited, like, whew. It's been a lot of negative experiences, but I'm ready. And then it gets to a loading screen and hangs twice. I was trying to stream it. And then I tried it without streaming it, same problem. And by that point, I was so over it. I was like, all right, man, you guys, I tried way harder than I think I needed to try and enjoy it.
My thing from watching it, the guns just looked so boring. The flight looks cool.
The flight is cool.
The cooldown mechanic looks terrible.
Really? I like it.
The overheat thing.
It's cool.
Assuming
you can upgrade and assuming that's like a process if that's just there all the time, that would certainly get
it seems
old
like
quick.
it's there all the time.
Yeah, but we don't know. We saw a
Well,
tiny
I
little
watched.
chunk.
There's a YouTube of the developers playing, and they're in level 30 like end game suits.
Yeah.
Which I didn't. So I start watching the developer video, and I'm just like, oh, this is kind of like, this is cool. This is before the beta came out, so I hadn't seen any Anthem.
Right.
So they're level 30, and they're playing through, and I don't know what the level they are when I'm watching. I have no idea. Until I hear them talking about how, no, these are like fully decked out level 30 suits.
These are cool javelins.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this looks... Like, I thought this was level 1. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like... These guns have terrible audio.
Yeah.
No seeming feedback.
That's the problem I had. It was like everything's a bullet sponge. I hate that.
The enemies
that was
don't
my problem
seem
with the Division,
yeah.
too. It's just like everything just eats bullets, whereas Destiny, everything responds.
Yeah, they don't react at all to being shot.
Yeah.
Right?
And they have the little life bar, which I don't like that anymore.
Combat while flying means hovering and aiming. There's no flying around and fighting enemies.
You can like shoot missiles while you fly.
Yeah, you can while you hover.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Right? You're not doing.
It's not like you're like Iron Man.
You're not
where you're
strafing these enemies
true.
or
like an armored core.
Yeah, like armored core. Like I think like when I think of what I would want from that game is I get super beefed up.
Yeah, you just have an insane suit.
I have an insane suit, and like if I'm going through like lobby zones or trying to farm, I'm just flying over, strafing them,
dropping fire bombs,
dropping cluster bombs all over the place, picking up and sorting out the engrams later, right? Yeah. And it just
for sure
that doesn't seem at all like what it is.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to discover that.
Yeah, and I think what's really from watching people play, there's something about like they're walking through like the town, like the village, and it's so slow.
It was very slow. I don't know. I think that's something they must tweak because it was
like unplayably slow.
Yeah.
Like
and nothing happens.
Nothing happens. You're just supposed to like drink in the scenery.
Why is it first person?
Why it's first person for some strange, like it's so strange.
It's very strange.
And we still don't know what the game is. Like the weirdest thing to me, at the end of that beta, right, is that this was truly designed as a demo.
Yeah.
It's a standalone, small experience that gives you no indication of what's outside of it.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be very carefully curated, and it clearly wasn't.
It clearly wasn't.
It didn't even work, but even if it had, it's still, I think you're right, it was very enigmatic and not in a good way. It was like, dude, I still have no clue what this game is.
Yeah, I want to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what is this game?
Yeah.
And if it's what's in that demo, I'm so out.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'll tell you this, even if the game has shitty guns and bullet spongy enemies and half-ass flying around fighting
and weird first
person in town things, if it's got sweet raids and dungeons at the end, I'll still play the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Yeah, you are.
But from what I saw, I don't think any of that's going to be in this game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It was the other troubling thing was like it's like, well, it's got plenty of time. No, dude, it comes out in less than a month. Yeah, that did not feel like a game that was almost done.
Yeah, it's like the next week on this list.
Yeah,
right. Like the stuff I announced is like the next one. Yeah. Right.
Well, what's interesting again? I keep mentioning I'm playing Dragon Age and BioWare. You know, they really are amazing. They had some of the best writers. So I'm still hoping for, a really strong narrative. I don't get that sense at all, but I am hoping that, at least the story will be good, that it'll be well written, it'll be intriguing. I don't get that impression from what I played, but that's like the torch I'm holding.
I feel like they've just abandoned so much of that.
It does feel like that, but I
like
really
Bethesda,
don't.
Like it's like the Bethesda effect, right? Like they got so big and so far away from that thing that made them so great, and are like resting on their laurels and like but we're like we're moving to the future, but it's like whoever wrote the original Dragon Age or whoever wrote Mass Effect 2, like get that guy anymore. Where's that guy at? Because that's where the gold was, right? It's funny. I'm watching. I don't want you to talk about Giant Bomb nonstop, but they're doing this Mass Effect thing where they're playing through all the Mass Effects.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, Mass Alex, they're calling it. It's Alex Navarro, and they just finished the first one. First one was okay. It was a little slow.
It was good writing, though.
Right? But it was good writing. It was fun, you know.
Music.
But then the second one opens, and immediately
crazy.
You're like, oh, this is way better.
Yeah.
Like, this is so
That's
good.
That's a sequel done right. It looks better.
Yeah.
Everything's bigger. It plays better. Yeah. Everything's just better.
This is so good. Like, it's first episode, the first hour of Mass Effect 2, and you're like, oh, this is like firing. Like, it just comes out
and
firing.
It keeps coming.
It's just moving.
It never really slows down.
You've already died and been reconstructed.
That scene is so cool.
Yeah, like it's just going.
And it's got Martin Sheen.
Yeah, it's got Martin Sheen.
It's got
whoever Miranda's hot ass is.
I don't know, but she's great.
She's great, right?
Yeah.
And then you see what Anthem is.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, none of that charm is here. Like, none of it.
I agree. It feels very, like, by the numbers.
It feels like bad Destiny mixed with the worst parts of Division.
But with cool flying.
With sort of cool flying.
No, the flying was cool. It's definitely not like anything I played in that regard. But I didn't get to play for very long, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to be optimistic just because I'm sort of an optimistic person. I love BioWare, but I definitely... To say I was disappointed is sort of an understatement. Not just because it didn't work, which is a serious problem, but also what I did play was fine. But that's not...
I just hope they have...
A game like that, with that big of a budget, cannot afford to just be fine.
I just hope they have some cool ass shit to do with the flying, right? I think of, like, Destiny and, like, taking you into different kind of worlds with the raids. And, like, I can think of, like, like, being in space...
Yeah,
in those suits in raids.
Oh hell yeah!
Right,
like if you can fly out of the atmosphere.
Yeah, you're like in asteroid belts doing combat.
Well, supposedly you can like go underwater.
Yeah.
The other thing we got to talk about is all the load screens.
Yeah,
I was talking to Q who played the shit out of it. He played it for a whole day. He was one of those guys.
Q loves bad games.
I would say that, but he was like, there's so many load screens. Everyone was checking their phones because there was like you got a load screen to get a mission. Then you fly out, do some stuff. You go into a cave, load screen. You go back out the cave, load screen. You go back to return the thing, load screen.
Yeah, what's Q's favorite game again?
World. Destiny 2.
I rest my case.
You like Destiny,
man? Yeah, it's crazy.
It is, and it was shockingly unappealing. I'll still play it, but
it's amazing. Like, it's the thing with Destiny, like, and it's a thing a bit with Division and all these games. it's just like, how do they miss so hard? Like, I feel like that formula.
Fallout 76.
I feel like Fallout's a whole different thing, but like, I feel like the formula of like loot shooter FPS or third person isn't hard.
Like Borderlands did a pretty good job.
If you literally took Diablo and made it guns, right, and
which is what the Division was supposed to be,
and change the perspective, where instead of everything taking forever to kill, you're a slaughter machine that is, like asking questions later. Like, it would be
sort them out.
It'd be fun to play. Like, a lot of what's great about
like
Destiny is that happens quite a bit. Borderlands is that way too. And it's so fun, and you could
simple.
You could add
almost mindless, but fun.
mindless. And you can add parts that aren't simple. You can add advanced mechanics to those
and
things.
raids.
You can add raids. You can add stuff to add depth to that.
Yeah.
But it's like, how does everyone miss that? It seems.
Do you think it's like overproduction, or maybe they just like overthought it?
I don't know. It seems impossible to me.
It is weird
that no one can grab hold of the formula.
Well, even Diablo 3, which is a good game now, kind of missed the mark when it came out. I was like, what the hell? How could you guys take Diablo 2 and make it worse? Like, how is that even possible?
I feel like a lot of their issues were outside of gameplay.
Yeah.
I mean, the loot was bad. Like, it was.
But even that, like, it wasn't as polished as Diablo 2, which is weird.
But it's like, I think really what got Diablo 3 in trouble was the real money.
No, for sure. It was that, and then the code didn't work.
Yeah,
no one could log in.
They were bouncing around that real money auction house.
No, for sure. I remember that.
Because, like, I remember, like, the thing that really killed me about Diablo 3 when it came out was that gear was so hard to get.
Yeah.
And you would get it, and it would have all the wrong stats.
Yeah.
Like,
sell it.
Yeah, you'd get like a legendary mage set, and it would have like strength and stamina on it.
Yeah,
and it'd be like, I've been grinding for this thing for nonstop. I've been doing butcher runs. For like days and days. Like, I literally come home and run butcher like 50 times.
Yeah,
and I finally get a legendary. And it's got all the wrong stats.
Yeah,
on
it's for a demon hunter.
Yeah, but it's a mage legendary, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Or a wizard, or whatever the heck you whatever you heckin' call them. It's a wizard.
It's a wizard.
Yeah, but it was crazy. It was crazy because it was done to make these items even more rare, and
it was. Yeah, I think you're right. It was a business decision that was definitely detrimental to the experience. But in their defense, they fixed it.
Yeah, and they
Diablo
did.
3 is solid now. It's still not as good as Diablo 2, but I think the reason I feel that way is because the story's not as good and the visuals are not. I just don't really like the style as much.
Well, it was an indication of things that come with Activision Blizzard. You know, it was an obvious attempt to create this monetization model.
Yeah, that it was like a very rough draft
that they were not ready for at the time.
Yeah,
and they made right on it because it was easy to point at and be like, this is not working. We need to fix this. Activision, I'm sorry. But I mean, I'll tell you that's why I was very against Overwatch loot boxes. And I understand, I with the full understanding that they were purely cosmetic and stuff, but my issue was that they're charging you money for this game.
Yeah.
And we're really opening up the door to a Call of Duty style slope of, pay your money and pay your, and pay for these boxes and pay for this, and it's, and with Blizzard, it has proven true. You know what I mean? Like, they are completely losing control now. Yeah. Activision is all about making money, and it shows in what's happening to Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
And kind of just the news that has come out of Blizzard as of late that they, are trying to rush out more games.
Yeah.
Activision's mad.
Yeah.
It's a bad scene.
It is a bad scene. I think I still don't really have a problem with the way Overwatch handles loot boxes because that's really when I play. That's kind of the only thing that keeps me going is just because I don't play competitive that much. So, getting some skin that I thought looked cool is really the only motivation I have. That I'm playing with people that I care about, obviously. But it's definitely a troubling taste of things to come. Like I still think they had pretty inoffensive business model, and I don't have a problem with it. But it was clearly a step in the wrong direction, and you can see. I mean, I don't think any game out right now is worse than Black Ops 4, which is a game I really like playing. It's fun, but God, their monetization is so draconian and so badly implemented and so like almost offensive.
Yeah, and it's funny because in some ways I sort of expect. Black Ops 3 was bad too.
Yeah.
Black Ops 3 had guns you just couldn't get.
Yeah.
Like I can remember like
all those years ago.
This is a sad story, right? I can remember I was really into Black Ops 3. And I like bit the bullet. I'm like, I'm gonna be a whale. Like I'm gonna get these guns. Like and I think I spent $120 on just crates. Like I was like, I'm getting this shit, right? Because there was like a crossbow thing.
Yep.
And like that you can only get from boxes, and a knife thing you can I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I just knew I had to have them.
They got you.
I opened every one of those crates and got nothing.
Oh,
like nothing.
That's fucking
literally.
Brutal.
Jack shit.
Did you just turn off and never play again?
Basically, right? I basically like never played again.
Did you buy the season pass for Blops 4?
No, I didn't.
Are you going to?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was just curious.
I think it's so that I mean to me that's the most archaic thing about playing Black Ops 4 is seeing this like you're gonna play. You got the season pass map cycle mode, and you're like, no,
like are you fucking kidding me?
Does anybody play that? Like,
apparently.
I mean, it shocks me that still exists.
Yeah.
In a game that is $60 and has all these monetization loot boxes.
It does feel really aggressive in that game.
It's
and I don't like that. It's still a great game, but
it's going to be their undoing, sadly.
I think you're right. And I think Black Ops 4 is a perfect example. Like, it's bloated beyond repair. And that's an example of a game that fundamentally is good.
Yeah.
When you try and apply that to a game that's not good, that's when it's like,
I mean, I think their biggest problem is including Blackout in that same offer, because you're mixing multiple monetization models, and when they stack on top of each other, it's really gross.
That's a good point,
right? Like it's super gross when you see the battle royale monetization model on top of the multiplayer monetization model, on top of the zombies monetization model, on top of this map pack model they've always had,
on top of DLC, on top of
DLC, on top. Because then it's like, how much money am I supposed to spend on this game?
It's also very incomprehensible.
Yeah,
like I've played a lot of it. I still don't know what half the shit I see on the screen is because I'm like, what the hell is this?
And I think the base product is a good value.
Yeah, no, I think it is. Like at first I totally didn't, but the more I play, I'm like, no, this is a lot of content, actually.
That's I think the saddest part about it is I do think the base product is a great value. Even at $60, I bought it the day it came out for $60.
And it was immediately like fun.
Yeah, and I immediately was like, I like this BR mode, this multiplayer mode. Like I forgot how great Call of Duty multiplayer is.
Yeah, no, it's great. I like the way they implement healing.
I'm like third prestige. Like I've been playing so much of that.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's a good value. But then, you see all these like buy your COD points. And,
even that Call of Duty points. Yeah, like I was like, whoa, Jesus, they're not even trying.
Yeah, buy your COD points and upgrade your battle pass and buy some skins and go to the black box shop and go to. It's like there's too many.
And then what about when Black Ops 5 comes out?
Yeah,
that's all gone. Sorry, asshole.
Well, that's I think what's the saddest part about putting Blackout in that product is that what do you do next year?
Yeah,
like do we does Blackout just die?
Yeah, it just doesn't exist anymore.
It just doesn't exist anymore.
So what do you think about just in terms of monetization? Because I'm still sort of on the fence about this, but I think when it comes to mobile games, and I don't see any reason this couldn't apply to console games. I don't necessarily have a problem with a free version that's backed by ads, that's backed by DLC, that's heavily monetized. If there's a version that doesn't have any of that shit, even if it's more expensive. Because I think a lot of arguments now is like $60 for a game, a huge AAA title, just isn't enough to pay the developers.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Which, absolutely. I think people underestimate how expensive it is to make games. But I would not have a problem with and I think Black Ops 4 actually did this where you can buy the different modes separately, and
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I know you
I've never seen the game, but I know they did announce that there'd be a $40.
So if they had that, and that one's heavily monetized, or even if it's cheaper, or even if it's free, but then they also have a complete version with no DLC, or I guess not no, because some people like it, but you know what I'm saying, like where it's not so draconianly monetized, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I'll pay $100 for a game if I know it's going to be the perfect version, heavily coded, heavily polished, with no one's trying to push me into a paywall.
Yeah, and I like the ability to jump in a game that I'm not sure about play a full version, even though there's
like Siege.
I think
Siege did a really good job with that. It's still a little intense, but shocking.
Yeah, well, because I think they're at face value, their model seems shitty. Yeah. Right. But when you realize it's like a 4-year-old game, that they are adding tons of content to
all the time.
They've made it a much better, more popular, more playable game. Like,
and they fixed the netcode because that was problematic.
Yeah,
for
like if you bought the initial game,
you bought it.
But like, I'm just saying now, like if you paid for the initial, whatever everything pack, you know, you've gotten such a value.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's a lot of game.
It's a lot of game, and they've committed to it for a long time. And if you come in late and you buy, I would say don't buy the starter pack. It's terrible. But if you buy like the standard edition, you can find it on sale usually for $15-$20. Yep. You get a lot of value in that, and you have a lot of room to decide how much you want to spend.
Absolutely.
How involved you want to be in that monetization process, and I think that's fair. I think developers need to, you know, I think in general, I think with asking people for money right now and just in this climate, you need to be honest with people about why that's the cost and what this money is doing. Yeah. Right?
What it's being used for.
And I feel like so often now these companies have this very old school mindset where it's like, never pull back the curtain. Yeah. Never show people we know all. We don't make mistakes. Yeah. You know, don't let them see that we're trying to figure it out too. Where I think if you're clear and you're open about what you're trying to do and what your plans are and what you're hoping for, I think people are very willing to invest in your product.
Absolutely. And I think the other side of that that's mutually beneficial is pulling them into the process, which we've talked about this. That's what Epic's good at with Fortnite.
So good at it.
It's saying like, hey, not only are we transparent, not only is this what we're doing, what do you guys think about that? Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Not to say you have to cater to the players, because God knows that wouldn't work, but having them feel heard. Of course they're going to be more likely to be like, hell
sometimes
yeah. And
they're
they'll
right.
Be more like, yeah, you're right.
You know?
Totally. And they'll be far more likely to forgive mistakes too in that case.
Yeah, and in every toxic gamer complaint, in every mob of shitty 14-year-olds screaming about, you know, using both F words and talking about people's mothers and rape threats, right? Yeah. In all of those, behind all those things, that there's a grain of truth that you need to be able to see. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to see through all this internet garbage and be like, yeah, maybe it's not fun to deal with this, right? Maybe it's not fun to have a superpowered sword guy come just murder your whole squad because they got the drop and you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that sucks. Yeah. Maybe that's why that kid's so mad. Like, you know, you don't have to change it for him. You don't have to honor all those things. But if you're not willing to even hear them, if you're going to say, you know, toxic gamers, I don't want to hear it, then, you know, then your product's going to suffer for it. And I feel like Epic's done a good job of, and, you know, I think what happens too is once you start listening, people stop acting that way.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I see much more toxicity around Fortnite from people that don't play it.
Absolutely.
Than from the community in that game. Yeah. I think the community is actually pretty great.
They're just having fun.
Yeah, they seem to really be into it and enjoy it. And when you go on the Fortnite subreddit, it seems like people like cool beams and stuff. It doesn't seem like this toxic, hate-filled wasteland like a lot of these subreddits are, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I totally agree.
And you know, I think that's just the strength of being willing to listen and kind of, you know, update what you're doing.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Hopefully
I think everyone could benefit from doing that, especially companies like EA.
Hopefully EA listens. Yeah, hopefully Anthem team listens.
Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard needs to. Well, you know, Activision. Good old Bobby Kotick isn't a listener, right? He
is not a listener.
He's a doer. He's a moneymaker.
Yeah, he's a money printer. He's kind of exemplifies that mentality, that sort of old CEO mentality of like, just get their money.
I've been hearing that name for so long. Like Bobby Kotick has always been the synonymous.
Bobby Kotick.
Bobby Kotick's gonna come take all your money.
He's coming.
He's coming for you.
Hear that, Q? He's coming to get your Ingrams.
Yeah. So what? You paid $60 for your game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how he talks to it. For
yeah. Okay. There's one more game I want to talk about.
Yeah, please.
This will be the last one because we're pretty well into the show.
Yeah.
It's Dota 2.
Okay.
Auto chess.
Whoa.
Have you heard of this?
No, please.
It's sweeping the nation.
Wow.
Mostly the nation of China. But
hey, they're a very large nation.
They're very large. It is a custom game for Dota 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever played a Dota?
I played it, but I'm not like.
So it's got a pretty good custom game browser.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool stuff they've kind of made. This game is. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's very different.
Yeah.
It's basically there's 9 people in game, maybe 8 people in game, 9 people. I don't know. It's a grid of basically like 3 by 3.
So 9.
And you just get. But I think the center might be empty. I'm not sure. Okay. But you get this little we'll call it a chessboard. It's not colored like a chessboard.
Yeah, but it's a grid.
It's dirt, but it's a grid like that, and it's basically it serves you up. I don't remember the exact numbers. It serves you up like 6 different units to start, and they have prices. You basically have incomes. You get like a gold a round, and if you're on a losing streak, you get more gold. If you win a round, you get more gold.
Yeah,
right. And so like it's all one cost units you can buy. You can buy one because you only have 1 gold.
Right.
You place them on the map, and to start, you fight some NPCs. Right. There's a couple low level NPCs come out. Your dude kills them. You get a couple gold, and you buy another unit for the next round. Right. The thing is, it serves you random units every time, and all the units have a race and a class. Right. So I'm trying to think of a common unit in like Dota. What's a Dota character you know? Any of them? Crystal Maiden. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't know.
It's Jaina Proudmoore from
World
of Warcraft, right?
Yeah.
So she's a human mage.
Okay.
Right? Don't quote me on this because I don't remember what the actual stats do, but like, so the stat might be if you have more than 3 humans, you get extra bonus mana regen. And if you have more than 2 mages, your spell damage is doubled, right? And so you'll get served all these units. And there's like 100 different units, right?
Yeah.
And some will be like human warriors or Tauren mages, right? And so you're basically buying all these units every round. A small team, right? And trying to stack these buffs, right? And if you get 3 of a single unit, they level up into a next tier unit.
Whoa.
Right?
Interesting.
So, and after the second round, you start fighting the other team's units.
So actual people.
Yeah,
PvP.
But it's automatic combat.
Whoa. Interesting.
Right? So you're just setting the board.
And then hoping you stack properly.
That's
really cool.
And the combat's just kind of going down.
So how much of it is RNG, though?
See, it's one of those things. It's like poker, right? Where it's like, well, it's so random. You never know what hand you're going to get. Same people always win, right?
Yeah.
The good person's good,
yeah.
and a bad person's bad.
Yeah.
And you read guides, and a lot of it is like, you got to be willing to spend gold on random 1-cost units just so you're prepared for what may come.
Yeah.
Right? But you also have to be willing to, like, a win streak is not worth any more than a lose streak. Right? So if you get bad RNG, maybe the best plan is just keep losing.
Yeah.
Buying units, not upgrading anything, right?
Yeah.
And kind of architecting out, like, once I get to this level of gold through lose streaks, I can start, I can all in with this gold. And just upgrade everything really fast, and then have like a buff team, right? Because I out incomed everybody through the lose streak, right? Like
that is really cool.
I won by economy, right? And each time you lose a little bit of health. You have 100%. It's got everyone's on the side, right? So there's games where I've just like tanked all the way to like 2%, then like dished out a big team, and then end up winning, but you end up with like 4th or something. But you could, right? Yeah, and It's got online, like, it's got a leaderboard. It's got ranks. So, like, every time you play, it ranks you, and then you level up. And
can you chat? Can you talk to people you're playing against?
Text. There's no voice chat.
Okay.
Like you can type to them if you really want to. But to be fair, not a lot of them are speaking English.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's very popular in China.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's a cool game.
That sounds very cool.
I've started to see it on streams a little bit. I'm a Cutie Pie is a large League of Legends streamer. I saw him playing it on stream on Twitch.
Do you stream it?
I have not yet.
But you think you will?
I probably will. When I get like tonight might be a night where I stream it, right? Because I'm gonna have to go home and edit this. So So, it's a very low-fi kind of thing where if I wanted to jump on late and just try it for a little while, it's not like it's not high-pressure.
Yeah. No, that sounds really cool. That sounds really creative.
Yeah, and it's all free, right? Dota 2 is free. You can download the client. You can get into custom games. So I would say that's my recommendation, my top secret Tony recommendation of the week.
That's great, man. The gold star.
The gold star, Dota Auto Chess. It's going to be hard at first. Give it a chance. Try a little bit, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Do you think it helps if you're good at Dota? Or is it pretty separate?
Nothing to do with Dota. You'll be fine.
That's kind of cool, too. So if people are intimidated like myself by the learning curve of something like Dota or any MOBA, that's cool to know that there's other modes that maybe don't require that level of expertise.
And you're on your own. Right, so people aren't going to be mad if you suck.
That's true.
People are happy to destroy you.
Yeah,
right.
See, that sounds nice. How nice.
But but it's one of those things where it's like there's a lot of pressure getting into games where other people are counting on you.
Oh, for sure. That's right. Exactly. That's why I can't play Siege.
Yeah, but
I fall apart.
Yeah, but it's nice to be able to just load up this game. You can have a YouTube video open. It's not intense. You can You can watch whatever, you can watch videos. You can listen to the Tech Yeah Gaming podcast while you play. You should be doing.
Just put it on repeat.
Yeah.
So you can get every morsel of goodness.
Loop it over and over and over.
And now there's 2 you can loop.
Can I tell you a secret?
Please.
I was driving home yesterday. Mm-hmm. I listened to our whole podcast.
And you were like, you know what? I can see why it's taking the country by storm.
Yeah, this is sweet. I was like, this is
quality content.
That's what I said. Those are the exact words.
You pulled over.
This is real good.
I totally agree with you.
I was like, wow, this is amazing. But
that sounds great, man. I'll have to check it out. And it sounds like you're recommending everyone listening should do the same, especially since it's free. Why the hell not?
It's the hidden gem that we all wish we knew about.
And now we do. Thanks to you.
Well, yeah. I'm not the first one to find it, but
I think you are.
I'm the best one to find it.
Always.
So what's your hidden gem of the week? I didn't let you prepare anything for this. I'm glad.
Hidden gem of the week. Interesting question. I don't know.
So there's something else I thought of.
Okay.
I don't remember what they're called, but in Kingdom Hearts, when you turn into an evil guy,
the Heartless.
It's like it's something like a Nord or a Drawn or something. There's something like that. I don't know. I have no idea what it is.
Nord or a Drawn.
It's something like it's Tron backwards or something. Nord. I don't know. But whatever it is, they were saying it's an anagram of your name with an X in it.
Okay.
So I think mine would be Tonics.
Mine would be Oxel.
That's not what I was going to make it.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying. What was I?
Lexo?
Exel.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, X-E-L?
E-X-O-L.
Exol. Okay. I can live with that.
Yeah.
And what's yours?
Tonics.
That's actually pretty good. That sounds like a streamer.
Yeah. It's pretty good, right?
Exalt and Tonics. If we ever start a band.
Exeltonics.
Exeltonics.
All right. What are you going to play?
This week?
No. Instrument.
I used to play guitar, so I'm going to go with trombone.
I used to play guitar, so I'm going to go with the cello.
Okay. That sounds good.
I actually played cello when I was young, too.
Oh, well, shit. I didn't know you were so...
I was a big band nerd growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, it was my thing. So what are you going to play this week? What are we looking forward to?
I'm going to try and get that S ranking still.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know. I'm still trying to get through Dragon Age, but I have a feeling I'm getting to the point where something new is going to come up. Any recommendations other than Dota 2 chess? Maybe something a little different.
I would say if you want something a little different, it's console.
Yeah.
But Earth Defense Force 5.
Interesting.
I love Earth Defense Force games. They're dumb.
Yeah.
Their menus suck.
Okay. Definitely.
They don't look great.
Really selling it strong.
But they're awesome.
Okay.
You kill so many ants.
Ants?
Giant ants.
Oh,
alien ants.
Alien ants?
Yeah. And then there's spaceships and motherships and it's
on console. It sounds like PC.
It's only on PS4.
Weird.
Yeah. It's kind of got a long Sony PlayStation tradition, but it's a weird, crazy game where you fight like waves and waves of these giant enemies, and you have different classes. One's like a jet suit class.
Is it like tower defense?
No, it's like it loads you on a map, and you have like a mission. So it'll be like the mission will be clear all the enemies, or destroy
the garden,
destroy these alien towers, or protect these tanks, or whatever. Right? And you pick a class. So there's like a soldier class that's good with all the guns. There's a wingsuit class that can kind of fly kind of like tribes, like jetpack around. There's a support class, but the support class could like call in like mechs and tanks.
Whoa.
And then there's a like an armored class, which is like slow, but it can dash, and it's got like Gatling guns, and it has melee weapons, so like big like giant axes that can swing around.
That sounds awesome.
And it's kind of it's very charming in its crumminess.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's a good game.
No, okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
How much is it?
I don't know. Probably too much for what it is.
Like $600.
Like less than 1,000.
Okay. Well, hey,
more than 5.
Good.
Yeah,
that seems fair.
It came out recently. I'd assume it's still $60, but you probably find it on sale somewhere.
Okay, I'll take a look.
I don't think it's going to be flying up on the charts or anything.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, number 1 on Twitch right now.
No, it doesn't have Goku in it or anything.
Why not?
I don't know. It should. That's actually would be a good fit for him.
I think. Yeah, I mean, what is he better at doing than defending planets?
That's true. I could see a spirit bomb really being useful when you got some.
Take that, ants.
Some ants coming at you. There's spiders too.
Okay.
And spaceships.
Do the spiders fly the spaceships?
I wish.
That sounds badass.
That sounds
Earth Defense Force 6.
Earth Defense Force 6. Here we go. All right. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah,
I think this is where we wrap it up. I love you guys, and I appreciate all of you taking your time to hear us out today.
Yeah, seriously. Thanks, guys. And again, we really love to hear from you on anything we've said. Anything we're wrong about, anything we're right about, any questions you have, any suggestions. We'd love to read it or hear
Do you
them.
love us? Do you hate us? Do you have a crush on me and Leo?
Simultaneously
or individually?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, please do.
All right. Thank you, guys. Love you. We're out.
Take care.